The question has often been asked that we know, yes, we are indebted. Yes, we know we are reeling in debt. What should I do now? So I'm going to give you practical things that you can do in order to be able to be out of debt. First, let's look at what the Bible says about budgeting. That's very important because when we don't budget, then we have challenges. Proverbs 6, verse 6 to 8. Let's read together. Go to the ant, sluggard, consider her ways and be wise, who having no guide, overseer or ruler, provides her food in the summer and gathers her food in the what? Yeah, in the harvest. Did you realize that an ant is a very small thing, isn't it? And how many times have you seen an ant carrying things this way, carrying things that way, and you unselfish and you selfishly go to it and you just kill it like that? Have you? We've done that, isn't it? And yet sometimes you'll find that that ant is wiser than you do because it knows winter is coming. So it will be able to say. So Solomon says here, go to the ant, you sluggard. And then Proverbs 21 verse 5, the thoughts of the diligent tend only to plenty, but the thoughts of everyone who is hasty only to what? To poverty. When you are hasty in getting rich, when you are hasty in what? In getting rich, you'll find that at the end of it all, you also lose it overnight, isn't it? There are many people who had millions, and then over the time, they all disappeared because some of them did not earn that money through difficulty. There are many verses that we can read. Let's take 24 verse 3 to 4. Through wisdom, a house is what? Is built. And by understanding, it is established. And by knowledge, the room shall be filled with all precious and pleasant riches. It means when you build a house, you sit down, you calculate the what? You calculate the cost, isn't it? And so on. Know well the face of your flocks and pay attention to your what? To your heads. What a foolish man would have cattle, would have goats, but would not be able to account for them. Look out there, count them, know what you have. And here's a beautiful one. For which of you, intending to build a tower, does not do what? Does not sit down and count the what? And count the cost, whether he may have enough to finish it. Lest perhaps after he has laid the foundation and is not able to finish it, all those seeing begin to mock him, saying, this man began to build and was not able to finish. In all our townships, in all our villages, you've seen such buildings, isn't it? You've seen the foundation laid, and 20 years down the line, nothing has happened to that foundation. And then the last one in the New Testament, Apostle Paul says, on the first day of every week, each one of you is to do what? Put aside and save as he may prosper, so that no collections are made when I come. So this has to do with budgeting, that we need to be able to put our things, what we call, together. What does budgeting do? It unites the family in what? In planning. You can't budget alone when you have a family. You just sit down with the family, isn't it? But many of us don't have budgeting meetings at home because there is nothing to budget on, isn't it? Because by the time the money lands in the bank, you just get stressed by the number of people that are coming there that says the money has been taken, the money has been taken, the money has been taken. Have you heard of people who, as soon as the money lands in the bank, wake up 1 o'clock in the morning to go and withdraw, so that when the debit orders go through, what has happened? There is no money. So that is not right. A budget provides needed financial what? Discipline. Because if you say, I'm going to spend 2,000 rand on food, you're going to spend 2,000 rand on food, isn't it? So that discipline is very important. It gives direction to family goals. You have goals as a family. You know you want to build a house this time. Now we are not building, we are educating our children. We'll build one room. You know now we need to build a house. Now we must have this. But if you don't have plans, there'll be no direction in the family. It assists the family to plan their giving as well. You don't just give, you plan. And the last one there, it assists the family to provide for what? For emergencies. There will always be emergencies, and we must be able to take care of those emergencies. Number one, there are many things, but I won't mention them as number one because there are too many. Reduce your what? Your expenses. There is no other magic Don't go to the witch doctor for the juju for you to be able to be out of what? Out of debt. It is very simple. Do what? Reduce your expenses. What do I mean by reduce your expenses? If you have 5,000 for food every month and you can't afford it, what do? You begin to look at your wants and your needs. For instance, let's look. Do you need ice cream? Have you ever seen somebody who has been buried because he did not eat ice cream? I have not seen him. I have not seen that person. So those are things that you do what? Yes. Yeah, you may die because of hunger because you don't have meal, but not because of what? Seriously, I still want to bury a person who's being buried because, he could not eat meat, and so he was buried. Have you ever seen a person like that as well? Okay. When your budget is tight, what do? You look at the bigger items first, isn't it? And the biggest one is meat. And don't eat meat every day. And don't be pressured by your kids to eat what? Meat every day. Sometimes eat it once or twice. If you eat it every day now, cut it. Eat once a week, and so on. And then reduce your expenses. There is nothing as beautiful as that. The other thing you can do, look for ways to augment your what? Your income. People like Bill Gates, people like Warren Buffett, they talk of 7 income streams. How many? 7 income streams. And you only depend on what? Only depend on one. It is not enough to have that one income stream. In my next presentation, I wish I won't have time. I want to talk about the 7 income streams and how you can be able to earn more money. But this is one of them. Look for ways to augment your income. I mentioned this morning that between 5 o'clock we come back from work and 11 o'clock, what do? We do nothing. We just watch television, isn't it? And yet you have a talent. Some of you can bake bread, is it? Some of you can do cakes, isn't it? Some of you can do this, some of you can do that. Why don't you do that and go and sell, at a place, or get somebody to go and sell for you? People who make fat cakes, they make so much money, isn't it? Yes, and they make us fat, but they make money as well. So it's important that you use a skill. Apart from the job that you are doing, God has given you something else to do. Some of you are great salespeople. You can sell dust to people, and people will still buy the dust, isn't it? You can go to Wheatbank there and sell coal, and people will still buy even if they have coal, because you are good. Use your skills to find a second, a third, a fourth, and a fifth income, and so on. And then you'll be able to be fine. If you don't have money, there are things that you can afford to do at home. How many of you are raising a vegetable garden at home? At least spinach grows very fast, isn't it? Thank you, my sister. I know that we don't have time, but there's something therapeutic about touching the soil, isn't it? Where do we come from? Where do we come from? We come from the soil, isn't it? And so when you touch the soil, you are touching your own brother, you're touching your own sister. You must be, I'm serious. When you touch that soil, there is something that happens in you. There is affinity between us and the what? And the soil. So grow your own vegetable gardens. Look at those things like carrots, like spinach, cabbages probably, and so on. They are easy to grow, and you can be able to that. Let me mention something on the science of improvisation. You should improvise in life. You should do what? Improvise in life. Let me give you an example. How many of you used Sunlight Bar Soap? I'm talking about the green one. Beautiful one, isn't it? I know the younger ones don't want it because it doesn't have that good smell. But do you know that the ingredients of a Lux and a Sunlight soap, Sunlight Bar Soap, that one, is the same. It's only the perfume that's a difference, isn't it? Give me 5 uses of a Sunlight Bar Soap. You can wash a car with it, isn't it? Isn't it? You can do that. You can wash clothes with it, isn't it? You can do the washing with it, isn't it? You can use it as a deodorant, isn't it? Yes. How many of you used that before? I did. How many of you use Sunlight when you are in trouble as a deodorant? Yes. Beautiful. Yes. And the last one, there are many. The last one, when I grew up, we did not have laxatives, isn't it? Yeah. Our grannies used to take that, and they used to do the enema, isn't it? And in no time, what happens? You're okay, isn't it? So beautiful. That's what we call the science of what? Of improvisation, isn't it? What about a penthouse? Give me 5 uses of a penthouse. A sieve, yeah? Oh, okay. I didn't even know about this one. Since Egg says you use it as a sieve. You put is it? Okay. Oh, that's fine. I've never thought about that. I hope you don't use it as a sieve. You don't use the used one as a sieve. Okay. As a what, ma'am? Curtain track, isn't it? Yes, and it's strong. It is very strong. Those of you who are going to get married, don't rush to buy things you don't have money for. Just use it as a what? As a curtain rail, yes. And the other one? For dusting, yes. For putting in your head, isn't it? Yes, yes. And the one I used before was for a fan belt. It works beautifully. If we are stuck 100 Ks, 60 Ks, 40 Ks out of town, you just stop a lady and say, hey, can I have your penthouse? Then they turn that side. And then they take that, and then you tie it in the pulley there, and then you are able to go away. We are able to get home. Here's a third one. What can you use the Sowetan or the Sun, this paper that Daily Sun? What can you use that paper for? Of cleaning windows, isn't it? And also you can use it when you don't have money for curtains. You can do it. You can put the curtains there. Yes. How many of you have done that? I have done that. Yes. And then I like that one. I know. Okay. I know some of you think that we are better now. All of us here, in one way or the other, we're passing through the bush and we did not have anything. And we took that paper and we massaged it. Beautiful, isn't it? We loved it at that time. And then we were able to use it. And by the way, you never lost your bum, did you? No. You made it stronger. So, in life, here's a beautiful one. In life, when you don't have something, before you buy it, improvise. Check what is it that I can use now to improvise while I either don't have money or I can't go to town. If you begin to do that, you'll be able to do well. Have you ever tried what I call, and I've tried it and it works beautifully, a spend-free weekend? You tell yourself that from Friday to Monday morning, I am not buying anything. I'm going to look in my fridge, look in my cupboards, I'm going to look at my pantry, I'm going to use whatever is there. If I don't find anything, I'm going to eat what I can find. Spend free weekends. Start first by spend 3 days. Today, I'm not buying anything. I'm using what I have. If I don't have it, I don't have it. I will do without. You will find that your fridges are full now. Things even rot in the fridge because they are not being what? Used. We pile things upon things. So use that until you can have a spend-free week where you say, I'm using what I have. I am not going to be able to do anything. We are not going to die at all. Establish a budget. If you have a credit card that is worrying you, you don't need 4 or 5 credit cards. 1 credit card is enough, isn't it? These others are going to be a problem. Number 4, there is a very important one. Purchase depreciating items with what? With cash. Can you imagine? Those of us who buy at Woolies. Nothing wrong. I love Woolies too. I do buy there when I have money. But when you buy at Woolies, make sure that don't charge your credit card 6 months or to a year. Because the food doesn't last more than what? 48 hours in the stomach. You will, if you say 6 months, 12 months, you buy a grocery, you will be paying for 6 months, 12 months, you'll be paying for manure. Do you know that? Yeah. Yes, because that food is already a manure, and in 60 hours, it's already a manure when we are still paying it. Because you simply said, charge it, is it? To my 6 months and so on. Begin economy measures now. And have a sale. There's the sixth one. Have a what? Have a sale. Do you know that if as a church, we can bring all the white elephants in our closets, in our homes, we can sell and be able to build something or buy something for this church. You bring a shoe, you bring a heater, you bring, what is rubbish to you? Somebody else might value it and might buy it, and that money can be a project that we can do something about it. Spend less, number 2 there, spend less than you earn. Spend less than you what? Earn. Determined to live within your what? Within your income, and that's very important. Save as little every period. Start only with a 50 rand, not just for your retirement, but just the habit of saving, isn't it? Don't eat everything. We'll come to that one that Ellen White talks about, avoiding death and so on. Remember that this is the Lord's earth, it's not yours. Do not, all right, here's something very important. Today, as we leave this place, do not add any more debt on what you have already. Tell yourself, debt, I am done with you. I am not adding any more debt until I've finished what I have. Do not rob Peter to pay who? To pay. That's what we do, isn't it? Yeah. This month we decide we are paying this one, or we are deciding not to pay this one. Let me tell you a story. There is a gentleman who got tired of Woolworths phoning him. Every month they are phoning, they are fighting, they want their money. And one day he decided, I'm going to tell them off today. They phoned again, they wanted their money. He said, hey, I love you so much, I love that shop, and I know I owe you. Then he said, but there are many other creditors I have. There are many people I owe who are as honorable as you are. So let me tell you how I pay my debts every month. And then the gentleman said, I write them down, I use piece of papers. I owe Woolworths, I owe Edgar's, I owe whoever, 10 of them. And I put them where? In the hat. I put them in the hat. And then, it's over the phone. Then I do the shaking. Then, because I can only afford to pay how many? 1. So I then take what? I then pull 1. Then for that month, I'm paying that one only. And the person is listening on the other side. And then the man begins to say, because of your insistence and phoning and harassing me, I want you to know that for the next 6 months, we are not going to be in the hat. We are not going to put to the hat. So that's what other people do when they are in debt. But something very important, make a covenant with God not to falter on your decision to trust Him and to trust Him. Make a solemn covenant with God that by His blessing you will pay your debt and owe no man what? Owe no man anything. That's Adventist Home, page 393. Here's another way of doing it. Make a list of your debts from the largest to the smallest. Why? From the largest to the what? To the smallest. Your largest being your house, isn't it? Then comes your car. Then comes furniture. Then comes credit card. Then comes omashonesa, and then come the small little next door neighbors that you are owing, Yeah, there are people who owe everybody. They can't even come to church because they are afraid, and they phone first. Sorry, is so and so there? No, I'm not coming, because they know they what? They owe. Your debts, make them from the largest to the smallest. This will help you to prioritize your payments. Some smaller debts may be more threatening than what? Than larger amounts. You can reschedule a 20-year bond to a 30-year bond and not fight anybody. But if you owe your cousin, you owe you owe somebody, they can be making noise to you all the time. Pay those first, because they give you stress, isn't it? They give you stress, they phone all the time. So pay those first, and then from the reschedule your debt, then you can be able to do that. Follow the established budget, includes the amount to pay back your debt, cancel all credit facilities. This is when you are in trouble. Credit always seems attractive, but destroying credit cards and striving to deny yourself 1,000 things. Ellen White says, avoid debt as you would do what? As you would avoid smallpox. Start purchasing all items on a cash basis. Gone are those days, I don't know where they went, where instead of getting a credit, you would have a lay-by, isn't it? Yes, and then in 3 months or 6 months, you've paid the thing and it belongs to you. This thing of wanting things now, I want it now, that one is a problem to us. We must try and not have that. I'm giving you a few more, and then we have questions. Make a sale, we mentioned. Dispose of clothing and other items that we have not used for a long time, that you know that you don't need them. If you don't want to give them, what you call it. Then I like this one. Trust and pay God first, isn't it? Trust and return to God what? First. Do not use God's money to pay off your debt. That's the biggest curse that you can have. Break from a spendthrift habit. Plan on one main shopping trip for food instead of several frequent shops. Do not quit, for Paul says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. A couple was asked who had been married for 50 years. How many years? 50 years. And the young people were saying, interviewing the couple, they were saying, how did you make it when people can't even last 1 week in marriage? You know, people go in court, they sign, then they go out, they divorce. They come back again, they divorce. There are marriages that have lasted for 1 hour. They come in there, they marry, yes, some 1 month, some 1 week, and then they divorce, what you call after that. And then this couple said, I'm talking about now the second point today. Couple said, yes, what we have done in all our lives, when something is broken, we fix it. We don't throw it away. This throw-away mentality is a problem to us, isn't it? You end up throwing even your own partner, isn't it? Yes, throwing even your own partner. So when it's broken, do what? Fix it. When your shoe needs mending, what? Mend it, isn't it? I mean, we grew up mending shoes. We grew up mending this, we grew up mending that. When it's broken, fix it. Don't throw it. Don't not throw away last night's leftovers. There are people who don't eat that. Keep the food of last night. In the morning, warm it up and eat that food. Nothing has changed in that food yet. Now here's a debt elimination plan quickly. Declare a moratorium on additional debt and make a covenant with God and list your debts from the highest to the bottom there and start paying those at the bottom because they are smaller ones. As you pay the bottom one, you release money to pay the next one, isn't it? You release money and pay the next one until you have more money to be able to support the other one. Here's an advice from Ellen White, Counsels on Stewardship, page 257. Be determined never to incur another debt. Deny yourself 1,000 things rather than run in debt. Talking to a brother, she says, this has been the curse of your life. Getting into what? Into debt. Then at the end there he says, pay your debts and then owe no man anything, even if you live on porridge and what? And bread. Tell me, my friends, when I have eaten uputu ekaya nobis, and then when you have eaten chicken licken, is it written here that I've eaten putu and mas? It is not written. Actually, I might be healthier than you are. So don't desire those things that you can't afford. Ellen White says here to a brother, even if you have to eat porridge and bread, do that, but you know that you don't owe, any person. It is so easy in preparing your table to throw out of your pocket 25 cents for extras. Take care of the pennies, of the cents, and the rands will do what? The rands will take care of themselves, isn't it? Okay, we've done this one. It says here, no investment is as secure as a repaid what? As a repaid debt. Putting your desire to invest ahead of repaying your debt obligations is usually a sign of immaturity, not financial sophistication. Here's my last slide. The very mint that is now so sparingly invested in the cause of God and that is selfishly retained with a little while will be cast with all idols to the moles and to the what? And to the birds. Money will soon depreciate in value very suddenly when the reality of eternal sins opens to the sins of men. Don't put your trust in money. Money will soon be cast with the bats. It will be eaten by the moles. Trust in God, and may God bless you in a special way. Amen.
I'm coming back to the heart of worship, and it's all about you. Oh, it's all about you, Jesus. I'm sorry, Lord, for the thing I've made it when it's all about you. Oh, it's all about you, Jesus. Ooh, oh. I'm coming to you,